You gonna tell me when we're actually on YouTube?
Yeah, that's my job, right? And somebody has to do that for us, Kale, and that's my
Yeah,
job.
I gotta. And we're live now. Sorry. There's a little bit of dead air. I'm just letting people know we are now live. We're back with another. Would you call this an emergency? We kind of knew this was coming, so it's not an
No,
emergency.
no, it's got to be an emergency. We
It's
should call. I want 80% of our episodes to be called emergency podcast, Kale. How else will people know that they need to watch today?
that's what I'm talking about, Serge.
Because frankly, Kale, if they don't watch today and they watch in 2 days, they won't need to watch this. There will be a gameplay video live streaming this Thursday, actually. I think on Tilt's channel. Um,
Yeah,
so, so why watch this today unless it was an emergency? That's what I say.
we are live. What's happening, chat? We got Fog in the chat, finally catching a live podcast. Ozavet, who we are
Love him.
extremely thankful for. Everybody at the bat has had a fabulous time. He let us borrow a Winnie, and that's what I'm calling
Winnie
it
Cooper
now.
from
Do you like
from
that?
Wonder Years.
That wasn't that my favorite? Didn't she turn out to be a race car driver, or was that one of the other ones? That's Malcolm in the Middle.
No, I
Uh,
think you're thinking of Danica Patrick, who looks like Winnie Cooper, but
that's
that's
it.
different. I know what you're thinking.
But
It's a
Win-
Mandela effect.
Winnie Cooper, actress or actor, however you want to go with that, and math whiz,
Yes, she is a math whiz,
absolute
along with
math
Mayim
whiz.
Bialik of other
Mm-hmm.
1980s
Mm-hmm.
sitcom fame.
Not to be confused with just regular Balky from Meepos.
That's true, which is from Perfect Strangers. But that's not what we're here today, Kale, to talk about. Are we ready to get into it, or do you want to wait a little bit more?
I don't know how many people do we have in here. 16 people. That's good enough.
That's good enough. And Kale, you haven't seen the game yet, right?
Not at all. I've only seen some stills, but I've been busy today. So no, I didn't check out any of
Well,
that.
Kale, fortunate for us, I've been busy learning the game as I do tend to do on launch day. And I should give the caveat that, there was other streams going on and people talking about the game who've actually played the game. I haven't played the game, but I've done something different, which is I've looked at every single insert and figured out exactly how this game works and the rules of it and everything. And that's what I'm here to talk about, is to really break down the game only in the crazy way that we do on this show, Kale. Does that sound good to you?
I'm ready for it, dude.
Okay. Okay. Good, good, good. I'm going to make sure I can see chat. Yeah, there it is. Okay. This is the Sharky Shootout breakdown. That's right. We're actually going to do a Winchester breakdown because you got that game from Ozavet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's not what this is. This is about Sonic. All right, enough of the nonsense chit chat. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to share my screen here, as I tend to do. Okay. And we're going to talk about the whole Sonic game. And the way we're going to talk about it, Kale, is breaking down in a few things. I like an agenda, Kale. I'm a PowerPoints guy. So we're going to talk about the game background. We're going to get into the art, the sound, the lighting, of course, the layout, and of course, what we can do perhaps a little differently on this podcast is really dive deep down into the rules. So let's get into it first on game background. So this is designed by, of course, the king of flow himself, Steve Ritchie. It's the second game from Steve Ritchie at Stern. At Jersey Jack Pinball. It was a bit of a Freudian slip. His first one was Elton John. What do you think of Elton John before we dive into this game?
I thought Elton John was great, and I am actually a fan of the music. I know a lot of people complain about the music, but I am a huge Elton John fan. I've seen him live several times, so this was my kind of game, and
Nice.
and it was very different. I mean, for Jersey Jack, the company, for somebody of this come from this lineage of pinball design to jump into a company like this, it was a very different feel, and it felt good.
I agree, and let's say it, like at his age that he has this much in the tank, really designing great games is impressive. And he was
Hmm.
asked, like, does he want, when is he throwing in the towel? And I'm happy to hear that he doesn't intend to, which is
Right.
really great. He's just as good as always. Hasn't lost a step. And people call him the master of flow, and he is. He's the king of flow, but he's also the king of innovations. He's done so much in pinball that's been the first for 50 years, just about now. He had the first repeatable upper flipper loop shot in the game Flash in the late 70s for Atari. He's done that again here with an upper flipper loop. He had the first multi-ball in Firepower. That's going to be here. He had also a first upper playfield in Black Knight, and of course we're
Hmm.
going to see that here too, and so many more things that he's been really the first to do. He's really he should get to me just as much credit on the innovation side of things, and Jersey Jack, because they throw a lot into the game, has given him another opportunity to get some innovations, and we'll talk through them here. Of course, that kind of the high speed or getaway rather hyperloop shot, same thing, sort of was used in Star Wars Premium 2017 for Stern, but a little bit of a kind of a riff on it in a unique way was put into this game. That's really awesome. So we're happy to see him. On lead software is Bill Grupp. He's been in background on other games before, but this is his first time as lead. Is it his first time as lead? It is to me in my mind.
I'm not sure. I actually didn't know about him until I heard some rumors about this game coming out and that he was actually the lead on it. I was not familiar with him at all.
Well, I'll be curious to see how his code looks, and so far I am impressed with what I've seen. I've had my issue with Jersey Jack games, perhaps a preference you can call it. I don't like when 100 things are going on at once. It's not that I don't understand them, but I just don't like that 100 things are going on at once because they kind of have, in a lot of earlier Jersey Jack games, have open stacking where everything goes on, at the same time. And I don't think I see that here. So we will explore further. But I am intrigued, is what I'm trying to say, and I'm
Hmm.
open to being excited about it. Software is also assisting him as Taylor Snyder and Duncan Brown. Taylor Snyder is actually the one who's super passionate about Sonic, knows all the details of Sonic, and really made this game what it is. I won't go through everything else on this list just yet, but I will ask you this, Kale. There's three tiers of the game, like they did with Harry Potter. There's kind of the collector's edition, which is Jersey Jack's version of limited edition, is an unlimited run at $15,000. What do you say to that, Kale?
I'm not getting that one.
Not with that attitude. Fair enough. It does look really beautiful. I
I,
am curious. Sorry, you go, Kel.
well, I can tell you this. So there's a CE, an SC, and an AE in this run, right?
Okay.
Um, I'm kind of interested in the arcade version.
Yeah, it's the same price, all the same prices as Harry Potter, so they didn't
Hmm.
change anything there. And what's interesting with Harry Potter, it is just an enormous license, and so they got away with selling unlimited CEs. Sonic, of course, is a big license too, and really perfect for pinball, obviously. But I am curious if it has the same power as Harry Potter does from a licensing perspective, that they could get away with unlimiteds. I feel like they will get away with it because essentially, I think if you make the game look beautiful enough, and I think this game looks pretty darn beautiful, I think you can get away with the unlimited C. We'll see how that goes. This goes, but that's my call on it. What do you say to that, Kel?
Yeah, I like. Why not? If you have the ability to manufacture them, and it didn't hurt them on the last title,
Hmm.
like having like a true LE, do it. Do it. It just gives a chance for, everybody who wants one to get one.
Yeah, and I also want to talk a little bit about the theme. The theme is obviously Sonic, which started with Sega in the first game in 1991, and it is the 35th rather birthday of Sonic the Hedgehog. So we wish him well on today,
Hmm.
being 35.
It's been a
The,
great run.
it's been a great run. The real irony, of course, is that Stern used to be Sega Pinball, and now Jersey Jack has their biggest IP of Sega
Yeah.
historically. And what's also interesting is this is not based on the movies, which I think people are happy about. It doesn't mean the movies are bad or anything, or people didn't like them, but that's not what hits the
I,
nostalgia bone.
I, I never saw him.
I don't think you're missing anything,
Okay,
Kale, in
good.
your particular case.
Did
Um,
you ever own a Sega console?
well, you're outing me now. I was a Nintendo person my whole life. I was going to
Okay.
ask you the same question. I've obviously played it, but I was a Nintendo person my whole life. So Sega, this game came out in
Hmm.
1991, years after Nintendo. And we had already had the Nintendo, and we could only have one. What do you say, Kel? What's your
Yeah.
story?
So I was, I had an NES, and then when it jumped to 16
I thought
bit,
you were more of like a Commodore 64 guy,
I
given
ne-
your slightly
I
higher
was a,
age.
I was an Atari guy. I
Okay.
had I had the 7800, the one with the silver stripe, the real
Yep.
sleek one. Yeah, that was great. But then I became an NES guy. That was groundbreaking. And then when the consoles were moving to 16-bit, you had your choice of a Super Nintendo or a Genesis. And the reason I went with Sega Genesis is because they were more widely available. I can't remember if they were released first or not, but in my area in New Orleans, Louisiana, we couldn't find any of the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So I just went with the Sega Genesis, and I was happy with my decision. The games were a little more adult. I liked them.
I played some Altered Beast back in the day, Golden Axe, all that.
Great. eSWAT.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Great
Represent.
games.
All right, so the other thing I want to say is, okay, it's on the video games, check, but it's actually not on the 1991 nostalgic video game. It's on the 2011 Sonic Generations, which was on like the PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo 3DS. So it is not based on the original version, but rather a more 3D version. Sega was pushing that to JJP. Sega wanted a kind of a cleaner, more representative version of where Sonic is today, and so they pushed for the Generations version of Sonic. What do you say to that, Kel? Does that surprise you or upset you in some way?
No, I kind of think it's a good move. I
I
think
think
it reaches more of the masses.
it reaches more of the masses, and I do agree it's more three-dimensional. I think the nostalgia is there for the old game, but I think the old game would look too 16-bit. I do wish they'd put some throwback in, the type of thing Stern would do on Jaws, where they kind of have the Jaws, shark mode, and it's like a 16-bit kind of thing. I think it would be great if they would do that. They're not planning to, as far as I know. And I don't think they are. More, even past as far as I know. I don't think they are, but I wish they would. I wish they would have a challenge mode kind of thing and throw in like something about the original Sonic game. I get why they're not, but I do wish that was something like an Easter egg in the game that way. But I understand why they're basing it on Generations. When I first saw the game, though, Kale,
Mm.
um, when I first saw the game and I saw the inserts on the playfield, and this was like last night, I immediately, I'll show you, we'll get back to this, but I saw these inserts on the playfield, and I
Okay,
immediately,
I haven't
Mhm.
seen this yet.
Oh my gosh! Don't get overwhelmed, Kale, with excitement. I know you're looking everywhere now, and you're going to get excited. I'm going to take it away from you for a moment, Kale. But there's 7 levels of the game, or modes if you're a pinball person, or Axe if you're played the original Sega game. They would have been called Axe, Green Hill, and so forth. And I saw these names. I didn't see the rest of the playfield, but I saw those names, and so I knew all those names from earlier games. So I made this mock-up, which now is totally useless. I want you to know. Don't pay attention to this, is what I
Hmm.
mean. But I want you to know the work I put into this, Cal, that slash AI. But here are all the modes, and they came from all these different games. But in the end, all these levels were
Hmm.
in these different games, but they were also all in the Sega Generation Sonic Generations game. So in the end, it comes from Sonic Generations, and I even got all the different modes, and I was like, oh, they're gonna make this a game franchise kind of game. They're gonna do across all the many Sonic games, and they're gonna show all these things. But no, Kale, no, they did not. So you could ignore all of this. This isn't what they're actually doing. Cool,
That's beautiful. Well, thank you for showing us this,
right? It was
and
a little
thank
bit of
you.
a tour.
There's a lot of hard work that ends up on the cutting room floor.
That's right. And this is just a little bit of it. So
Hmm.
they went the 3D version because Sonic and later games had 3D. Let's get into the art, which apparently you haven't seen. So maybe let me cancel this for a second and just show you that. What do you say to the art, Kale? If you're just looking at this right now, which one is the LE? Which one is the CE? LE being the middle tier option for JJP and CE being the collector's edition. You could see it. I'm sorry. You see the
Oh,
text. I was hoping you wouldn't.
yeah. So which one is the
Which
more
one would you want?
expensive one?
Yeah,
The
which one
spec,
would you want?
the
Don't. I'm not even.
collector. Oh, which one? I like the blue trim
Exactly.
better.
And that's why
Yeah.
I wanted to show it to
Yeah.
you without I wanted to
Hmm.
show it to you without biasing you on which one was called which to see what you would say. And I feel of course the same. And probably 90% of people I would imagine feel the same way. It
Hmm.
makes you wonder why they didn't put the blue on the more expensive one. They put the red on the more expensive one. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm not going to say that. That would be too
Yeah.
harsh.
That's the Tails version, right?
I don't think they're calling it that. That's not what they're calling it. But here you do have Sonic and you have Tails
Hmm.
and Knuckles and Amy, right? And so you have all the characters, throughout the artwork. But yeah, I do kind of wish for the blue, I would say. Um, they did do go for like a colorful, all ages, broad appeal to it.
Hmm.
What do you say to that, Kale?
I think it looks great. It's fitting. I mean, this is Sonic art. Kind of like what what
Or
Stern did with
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Correct.
They
This is
used
what
the
Stern would
Pokemon
love.
art. I mean, yeah, A plus.
Yeah, and we're this won't be the last time we mention Pokemon on this particular podcast. We're going to get to it again later because there are some interesting similarities between the two games. Sometimes these companies make games, and I believe they make them independent from each other. But it's interesting how sometimes the same idea happens with multiple, different designers at the same time. And I've seen that historically, and I think it's happened here again, which is interesting. So we could say who did it better as we go through this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I know one of our Discord audience noticed a little touch that the color of the back of the game here, or the side of the game, goes right into the topper, at least. And I think that impresses us both, doesn't it, Kale? That level of
It
detail.
it sure does. Just that seamless feel to make so many times when you see a topper on a pinball machine, it feels like it was like built by a different company.
Hmm.
It really looks good when it's seamless and it feels like it was all built in the same factory.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this is more a cohesive package, which is nice. And then other things we could say about the art. Get rid of my nonsense here. I appreciate the chat saying that they appreciated my nonsense, that they wish that the game encompassed multiple video games across the franchise history. But that's okay. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to go into some other artwork things that we could show. So the red version here, which is the collector's edition, that has the glitter on the sides. Adult men and adult women love glitter, Kel.
Man, that looks cool. So it's like a holographic foil they printed on top of.
Correct. And I think that
Yeah.
I haven't seen that much before, and I think it's a great move. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks beautiful that way. And then other things in the game, I'll tell you. Can I tell you some things that bothered me, Kel?
Oh, please. That's
You
what
know,
we want to hear.
sometimes I get into it, and this is the kind of level of obsession that I bring to
Mhm.
things. Is I noticed in JJP's photos on their website that as I looked at some of the inserts were different from the final playfield. So if you notice here, Kale, you see where it says, you see hero, hero, all these rectangles. I'll show another
Mhm.
image of the playfield: hero,
Yeah.
hero, hero. Um, and uh, and then when I look at the actual playfield, this is the actual playfield in production, Kale. No, it's Big Fish, it's Team Rose, it's Team Sonic, and so forth.
Oh,
And
wait. So where's the other photo from?
so the other photo is from JGP's website. So
Interesting.
clearly they were developing this game and had a certain vision of it, and then decided to change the inserts at some point after they made these very professional looking photos. What do you
You
say
could
to that, Kel?
well, you could almost say there was a transformation.
There was a, I see what you did there, Kel. There's not enough transformation going on in pinball these days. That's what I said. But uh, so the astute viewers here will notice that hero was changed, but I noticed even multiple other things were changed, Kale. See this thing? It says Find Froggy
Hmm.
over there. If I go to the game here, it's qualified checkpoints.
Wow.
Is this important for me to spend time on? I don't know, Kale, but I'm
No,
here to talk about these things.
I'm intrigued, and I'm sure some viewers are too. Interesting. It's just interesting to see this because when you see this kind of stuff, it gives you a behind the scenes look at what they have to go through. Because obviously, I mean, they got that far with it, and we're like, oh no, we need to change stuff.
Right, right. And Cal, I never stop and I look for all differences I can find on the image.
In
So
this
mhm,
photo right here, we're looking at the circle at the top. Is that one of? There were
they have
rumors that there
five
was going to be an
lights.
LC. So it's a light, or is
It's
it
a
it's an LCD display?
it is a pixelated light that well, like if you will, so it's got like I don't know how many pixels, with six, was it, I don't know, 100 or so, I forget how many
Mm-hmm.
pixels it has on it. So it's a little bit of an old school vibe to it, and it could show all sorts of things. I'll have some pictures of it later.
How cool! That kind of reminds me of our that switcher we use when we're streaming. I can change those buttons to say whatever.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it does. When you
Yeah.
tilt, it says tilt over there. There's an arrow that points to different shots. If it's lit, it tells you, what the shots will get you. Like right now, a ring is lit, so if you hit a shot that it's lit with that, you'd get a ring, that sort of thing. So it's very informational, and I am impressed by that. I think it
Hmm.
looks awesome. You could spell the word bonus on it because there's five of them.
And we see a little 3D toy there.
Right, but yeah, nice sculpts at
Hmm.
least.
Yeah.
They pushed for the Amy one and the Sonic one, but sculpts are there, and they were all like meticulously approved by the licensor, Sega in this case, who really cared about that sort of thing. And question from the chat, which was always going to come, I knew, which is, can you get blue pinballs for this? My opinion is different than your opinion. Kale, you would say never put blue pinballs in. They're not going to work, and they're going to. I mean, they're going to work, but it's going to chip off, right?
Yeah, and I have some experience with this. I used to sell tons of pinballs, all types of different pinballs, and even was involved in the process of creating pinballs at massive scales. All of those pinballs that have like some color in them, they
Hmm.
all look really cool, but they end up looking really beat up because you're either like, the process of applying color to a steel ball bearing, it's never gonna last. You can't. There are like these third party, not Delrin, but it's some type of plastic. They're balls that have the same kind of weight,
Hmm.
and you can get those, and they do hold their color, but they always end up looking dirty.
Yeah, but my question to you, I buy that. My question to
Mhm.
you is, would you say the same for a home use, which like a home use collector, but not like a player collector, but
Mhm.
like a home use collector that plays their game like max 200 times? Would you say that?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Because through our testing with that, not at the arcade, but when I used to be involved in manufacturing and sales of parts, um, people think like all the metal parts, like posts and other stuff that the ball hits, is what damages the ball. It's
Hmm.
actually the launcher, because you got to think there are two metal forks
You're so
that are
good to have here. Hmm.
launching the ball at a high velocity, like over and over and over again, and that creates damage to the ball.
Well, how apt, because this game has a lot of high velocity, and we're going to get into it, including that loop-to-loop shot and your opinions as an operator on it and all that. From the chat, Metated says, I'd be his pick for Mega Touch Photo Hunt. And let me say, although I guess it's not so surprising or whatever, I believe I am one of the world's best Mega Touch Photo Hunt players. That's what I would say. And here's my evidence for it, Kill. In my
Uh-huh.
20s, I lived in New York, and I would go to
Hmm.
all like bars across New York that had Mega
You drove
Touches.
a cab, right?
Yeah, that's another story for another day. But I
Okay.
did drive a New York City taxi cab, and I have the high score at least in my 20s on like 50 different bars, mega touches
Hmm.
across New York City. I don't know if they're still there, that high score, Kale, but and I don't know if there's these days competitions for it. But that was my jam,
Could
is
you
what I would
and you
say.
could you enter your name much like a pinball machine as the high
I
score?
don't even. Yeah, I think yeah.
Well,
You can.
do you
Hmm.
know what we should do? Chewy has a Mega Touch, and it might still be in the office.
I'm intrigued.
Um, we should plug it in and stream it. All
Hey,
right.
Pinball MC throws in $5 and asks the question. Hey, did we mention it before? But does JJP have Pokemon and World Tour Poker, World Poker Tour similarities? Funny you should say that. Let me just skip ahead, and I'm going to get to it. But I'm going to show. I have a lot of slides, Cal, as I tend to. But I thought I would show ahead of time. Oh, I have a slide on Pokemon, and I have a slide on World Poker Tour. Both that will
Hmm.
be coming because yeah, I do think there's similarities. All we're talking about so far, though, is my insanity of noticing things on the playfield that were changed from pre and post production. So if we can continue with that level of insanity past our digression, Kale, here we have these hero rectangles and the fine froggy, as we mentioned, that were changed to checkpoints qualify here and team rectangles. But Kale, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. So here, notice the super jackpot right here on this
Ooh,
middle
inline drops.
inline drops. I know you're just seeing this game for the
Yeah,
first
I'm
time.
just seeing this is great. And not only I'm sorry, I'm messing this thing up because I'm looking at inline drops, but like a ball gets trapped to the left. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Serge.
I know you're getting so excited. Kale, I'm going to go through the layout. Should I just skip ahead and go through the layout now? I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, no. Keep going. Keep
Should we
going.
do it in the nonsense order I've established?
No,
I
no. So what
promise
were
I'm
you
getting
saying
to that.
about the inserts?
So this is the. Why am I leading off the podcast with this that nobody cares about? I don't know, Kale, but that's the way I think. So super jackpot here. If you notice on in the actual playfield, and this is a picture of the actual playfield. Now it's out of
Mhm.
ball. if you're wondering where the Adiball shot is. So things are changing, but you know, I can't stop myself, Kale. It just there's so many. I won't go through all the differences. How about that? I won't go through all of the differences. But this thing says Orbits Advance on the actual production game, whereas on the original playfield, notice it said like Chow Garden there.
Hmm.
These little chows, or I think that's how you pronounce them. I initially thought they misspelled the word chaos, CHAO, you know,
Hmm.
right there. But no,
Yeah.
they're called chows. They're these little creatures
Oh,
that you hatch
interesting.
from eggs. Um, but anyway, Kale, I'm done with my. I won't do any more. I just wanted to go through things that were changed at some point from the playfield, and JJP still posted the pictures of the original. I won't yell at them about it, but I will notice it, Kale.
Okay, so you have to remember this is the first time I've seen this stuff.
Right, and you're getting very excited. I know.
I'm getting very excited, and but what's funny with the artwork, I'm getting Viva Pinata vibes from it. Do you
Oh,
remember
because of the
that?
colorful nature of it.
Yeah. Do you remember that
I
game?
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I know I think the video game and nature of this and the kind of broad family appeal should make it colorful. I buy the colors in this,
Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
Um, okay, let's go on to. I think we're good on the art. We talked about the sculpts, you know. We talked about the foil. We talked about the cabinet art and everything it shows. I'm good with that. You're good with that, Kale?
Yep.
Let's talk about the sound in the game. You know, when we talk about sound in pinball, we usually talk about three things: the callouts, the music, and the sound effects. All of them are important, and they're all in this game. But I think, especially the thing people care about the most in this particular game are the sound effects. Because, you know, what does it sound like when you collect those rings? Are you going to hear that ring sound over and over? And
Hmm.
from what I saw or heard, you do. The other sound effect people were wondering if it would have was when you boot the game, would it say Sega? And no, it does not. They actually did ask for it, but they were declined from Sega to use that. Anyway, that's a little bit on sound
Interesting.
effects.
Hey, you have to draw the line somewhere.
You do.
One
Call
thing,
outs? Yeah, sorry,
uh,
tell me, Cal.
yeah, yeah. Well, as an operator, I mean, I'm looking. It looks like they're using traditional rubber here, the black rubber,
Oh, that's an interesting point.
instead of silicone, which I love, and I know that.
Wait, I want to find the actual that was from the earlier production, pre-production.
Oh, here we go. Here we
So
go.
so
Deep
let me
dive. This is where the deep dive matters.
yeah, let me see if I could actually get you the answer to really what you're asking here. I don't know, can you tell, Cal?
No, I can't. I
You
can't. You
can't.
can't even
So
see
you
him.
may be right. Before you get excited, I just want you to know you may be wrong about it because they might have changed it in the production. The
Well,
pictures
we'll
I'm showing you, which are on their website, are pre-production.
Okay, interesting. Well, I know when Steve was making this game, he was talking to different manufacturers about rubber and changing the way JJP usually does stuff because he's a traditional rubber guy.
Yep. Okay. I was going to tell a joke, but I held myself back.
Yeah,
Okay. Now,
we were all thinking about it.
I know, it's so close, but I held myself back, and I think I made the right decision on this family-friendly episode. We talked about the sound effects. Let's talk about the callouts are from voice actors from the games, which is great. And then the music. So there are some real video game bangers in the collection. I thought they were going to have this like live and learn song from Sonic Adventure 2. I don't think they do, but they do have music from the games, plus original music from Slash, no less, who did obviously Guns N' Roses, but he sometimes helps out JJP because he's a big pinball head, and so he put in some rock music. And I think this game goes well with rock music. What do you say to that, Cal?
Oh, 100%. That's a good fit
That's a good fit
and a
right there.
great little surprise.
Yeah, great little surprise. They're not. I don't think they're like. Maybe they are advertising it. I don't know if they're marketing it, but really great that they could get Slash from Guns N' Roses to make music for the game. You know, one of the
Hmm.
greatest guitarists out there. Next, let's talk about lighting in the game. And of course, JJP has the hot rails, which are going to go crazy on this game. But I'll talk about some other things on the lighting here. You know what I didn't talk about, Kel? I'm sorry, I didn't talk about the
Hmm.
topper. Should I talk about the topper for a second?
Yeah, what happened? It looks like it does something.
Yeah. So you have a motorized Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. Are you an Eggman or a Robotnik guy, Kel?
Robotnik.
Yeah, did you know that actually they're both called that? That they're the same character. Robotnik is actually his last name, his full name being Ivo Robotnik, and
Hmm.
Eggman is kind of a widespread nickname because of his physique and egg-like shape.
Hmm.
But
How rude.
Yeah, how rude, exactly. But the difference in the name comes down to a regional split in the 1990s. So in Japan, he was always known as Dr. Eggman. They don't mind insulting Americans over there. And in the West, Sega of America originally changed his name to Dr. Robotnik, for better localization marketing here in
Hmm.
America. Um, but when Sonic Adventure was released in 1998, Sega decided to unify his name globally, and today he is primarily called Dr. Eggman.
Oh,
And Robotnik is sort of his canonical surname. But if you look at this game calls him Eggman, not Robotnik.
and
Just a
now you
really
know the rest of the story.
right. This is what we bring to the table, Kale.
Yeah.
Is that important? I don't know,
No,
Kale. I don't
very
know.
dude. That's what people come here for. If you want the fluff, you go see the other guys. We're doing the deep
By the way, I like
dives.
the other guys, and I like
Oh, I love
fluff.
the other
I
guys.
often want fluff.
We're close friends, all of us. The gem colors on the topper, is that going to play a role? Maybe like Avengers. What's going on?
Yeah, that you do collect 7 gems in the game, and we're going to get into the rules of it. 5 gems are from the 2 multi-balls, and 1 gem is from the modes, and 1 gem is from defeating all of Eggman, aka Robotnik's boss battles. And as you do, you could light up these gems. But this is a screen back here, and there are a few things happening. Number one, it's a screen. Number two, there's a motorized Sonic, there's a motorized Eggman, Dr. Eggman. He didn't go to medical school for nothing.
Hmm.
And they move towards each other, and like Eggman also rotates. So I'll show you what I mean here. So like if you notice here, this picture, he's like looking straight ahead. Here he's turned around as they face each other in the middle, and then like
Wow.
it has this effect.
Oh, that
You
is
get
dope.
where they show it on the screen and Sonic moving really fast as he punches Eggman in the face, and so
They're like little amiibos.
yeah, they are like little amiibos. And if you like break it off and you put it in your Insider Connected account, it logs you in.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a bit on the topper, but
Hmm.
I also wanted to talk about these lights that you pointed out earlier. There are 5 of them, these sort of ring lights on the CE. They're gold, but these like micro LEDs. That's what they call them.
What?
Um, mhm.
What? Okay. Once again, first time I've seen
I
this.
know you're getting excited, Kale.
What is going on here? I see
Kale.
two flippers, but is that an upper play field? But it looks like there's.
Yeah,
Oh, it's clear.
it's clear they did it, Kale. You can
Wow.
actually, and it's clear not in the way like other games have been clear, clear in a way that you're really clear. You can really
Um,
see below it. You know what I mean?
this worries me.
I know it does. As an operator, you think it's going to get scuffed up,
Have
and
you
you
ever
think,
seen a World Poker Tour?
oh, I have the slide later on, and
Okay,
that's kind
okay,
of what I
keep
was
going.
referencing.
Keep
We'll see.
going.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. Did they put it through the testing? Okay, I'm going to get to this, but let's just talk
Hmm.
about these lights and the things it shows. It could show a ring. Here, you notice it shows when you're in a boss battle. It shows these little angry faces. It could show a tilt sign. So I think you really get a lot out of it that way, and I'm a fan. Or here, it shows like a timer as an example when you're in modes, and it can actually show the timer on modes and stuff like that.
This is
Um,
this is your dream game.
yeah, you know how I like Kale. How many times do I say I want inserts that tell me things, and these inserts tell me things? Absolutely, I think that's great. I love it. Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe I'm spending a lot of time on it, obviously, because I think that's awesome. And then more on lighting stuff, they have like dozens of LEDs under each of these individual emeralds. And so like it can really, I'm not giving the effect and you'd see it better on video, but it's not
Hmm.
like 1 LED or like 3, it's like 100 or whatever it is under each of these things. And so it really gives some crazy lighting effects there on the lighting. All
Yeah,
impressive.
I haven't seen a
So,
video, but it sort of gives me the vibe. It's like one of those like fiber optic rainbow things you get from Spencer's at the mall.
yeah. Um, all right, Kale, we've done the art and the sound and the lighting. Is it finally time to jump into the layout so you could get excited? I've held you back long enough, Kale.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready to explode.
All right. I won't make the joke. All right, so let's zoom out. And at first glance, this is a 2 flipper game that's a fan layout. But it's a fan layout with a whole giant upper playfield that's also a fan layout on the top. It's Inception or Fanception, if you will, here with this upper playfield.
And you get
And
all this at the same reasonable price.
that's right, Kale. For 10K,
You
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 get
so
this
you're
whole.
basically getting two pinball machines.
Yeah, I have to say that for 10K, they're throwing in a lot in this game. 50K is
Hmm.
awesome. You get a bunch of stuff with it that's like blinged out. But honestly, that's pretty darn impressive what you're getting here for 10K.
Yep.
And we'll get through all the mechs and everything. But shall we go in order? Or you know what? Let me give you a few kind of overviews before we get into this. I talked about the fan
Mhm.
layout, but with a giant extra playfield, that's also a fan layout. And as you pointed to, Kale, upper playfields can be tricky. Number one, are they fun or not? Because some upper playfields aren't. Recently, there's been a spate of great playing upper playfields. Like, I think Jaws did it well, and Foo Fighters was decent, and this looks really fun, like a lot of fun. Harry Potter had a great upper playfield. I think they, in the past, if
Right.
you asked me like 4 years ago, I've been like, upper playfields aren't fun. The end. Next. But I don't feel that way when I see the latest games that have them.
But it seems like the ones that we like, the upper playfields that are successful, the ball spends very little time up there. This looks different.
You're absolutely, that's such an astute point. Foo Fighters spends a little time up there. Jaws spends very little time. As soon as you make it one shot, it leaves the upper playfield. And Foo Fighters, did I say that one already? Harry Potter, also very,
Mhm.
very quick. This one is not as quick. Now, I'll tell you so you might say, I might hesitate, I haven't played the game, but I'm still willing to give an opinion. I still think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I think the reason is that it's essentially a layout up there on the upper playfield.
Right.
There's an entire game going on
It's
there.
a mini pinball machine.
Right, not in like the annoying way of, and let me show it because we talked about it here. Um, sorry, here's your World Poker
Mhm.
Tour and the kind of the glass. And you want to say your thing about not glass, plexi, whatever you want to call it. What do you want to say
Uh,
about it, Kel?
Man, it doesn't matter how much you polish it. If you play it, it's going to cloud up.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I've seen it, have experience with it. That's one thing that scares me about this. Because I've played World Poker Tours on location where you can't even see those pop bumpers.
There are pop bumpers over there? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
By the way, this game has no pop bumpers. It's worth mentioning.
Oh, oh,
Steve
interesting.
Ritchie getting rid of pop bumpers for his
Cool.
games here. Doesn't always do that.
Hmm.
Um, and what other game, trivia question for our chat, does Steve Ritchie make that has no pop bumpers?
Ooh.
Just thought of that trivia question, Kel.
Oh, did you really? Just off the
Yes,
cuff.
just off the cuff. We're going to continue on though, while about the game while you people think about those. So anyway, this is not a deep dive into World Poker Tour, so let's leave this. Let's actually get back into the layout. I got distracted, Kale, again. We're going to talk about
Hmm.
the lower playfield, and then we're going to talk about the upper playfield. We're going to do one and then the other because they are two different playfields. And I'm going to make claims that the upper playfield is fun, despite likely playing long over there. So lower playfield first. So in the in lanes, they spell the word hero, in lanes and out lanes. If you spell hero, that collects your hero shots. And then once you collect 3 heroes, that starts your team multi-ball, your heroes multi-ball, which is started here, and we'll get into the rules later. You have a kickback on the left out lane over there. And what do I want to say about that? I could say, yeah, that's all. We'll get into that later as well. Um, so left out lane kickback. That's from collecting enough rings, I could say. We'll talk about how you collect rings later. You have a dead end shot here. Think like Star Trek from Steve Ritchie, but it doesn't end in a scoop. It ends in a dead end shot.
Hmm.
But there's an up post here, Kale. And so during
Oh,
multi-ball, you can shoot a ball here. The up post comes up. It traps the ball here. And then you could use another ball to bash into it. And in fact, they call it a bash right here, bash dash.
yeah, I
And that
love
has to
that.
do with increasing your jackpot multipliers, and we'll get into that as well. So that's the left dead end shot. Any questions there, Kel?
No, that's cool.
All right, let's get into the left orbit. The left orbit is a true orbit. It goes here, goes around, and comes out there like an orbit, fast, in other words. No questions there, I assume, Kel.
Nope.
Okay, like that. All right, next one is the left ramp. The left ramp is always available to go to the upper playfield, so there's nothing blocking it if you make the shot, which I imagine could be backhanded too, like a lot of Steve Ritchie games, and then you're in the upper playfield. So there are two ways to get in the upper playfield. That is way number one. Any questions on that, Kale?
Nope. And I was wondering how you get up there, and there's my answer. Cannot wait for the second way.
Yes. Oh, we're about to get to it. So
Mhm.
somehow ignore mentally the upper playfield, Kale. Can you do that for me? As we zoom in we're still in the lower playfield. And notice here, battle zone instead of your battle
Mm-hmm.
arena, if you
Mm-hmm.
will, it has, very similar to Pokemon this way, 3 stand-ups here, 3 stand-ups there.
What's going on here, Serge?
Okay, I'm getting to you. It has a
It's
magnet.
it's like all these people talk.
All these, that's what I'm saying, right? But I think they just did it independently. It has a magnet just like the Pokemon only premium version does. It has slings instead of a pop bumper here and here. So there's some slings in there that cause action as well. So slings,
Mm-hmm.
magnet. So you get a lot of action there. And then in the back over here is a Vuck shot. Well, here's a drop target, which blocks it from you. And then behind that is a Vuck. And the Vuck vertical up kicker will bring the ball here to the upper playfield. So you could hit the left ramp to go to the upper playfield, or you could hit the center. They're calling it a center ramp, I think, which I don't understand how they're calling that a ramp or not, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're calling it a ramp, but it's a Vuck shot. And so that's your 2 ways to feed the upper playfield. I will pause there, Kale.
Yeah, but I guess probably because there's a little piece of spring steel right there. That's enough to call it a ramp. This is intriguing. I really am excited to flip this thing.
Yeah, and we have some questions about Pokemon, so let's look at Pokemon Playfield. Also has 3 stand-ups, 3 stand-ups. Has this like pop bumper sling, I think there, magnets there. It's pretty amazing how they both did something similar around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Back to
And
the
look,
yeah,
well, we can run through where have we seen this in the past? Godfather and Foo Fighters with the
Junkyard.
Shat's target.
Right. Oh, yeah, other things that you're saying other games that
Mm,
have kind of similar features that came out around the same time.
right. And
Yeah, you're
wasn't
right.
there some stuff in like Harry Potter that was similar to Jaws, or there was something I can't remember. But yeah, it's weird how that happens often.
Yeah, it does. I will answer my earlier trivia question, by the way, which was No Fear. No Fear by Steve Ritchie has no pop bumpers, just like this game,
Mm,
Sonic, has no pop bumpers. But we're continuing only on the lower playfield, Kel. We're going to get to the upper playfield separately.
mm-hmm.
Deal?
Yep.
Notice there are not a whole bunch of stand-ups everywhere, like blank stand-ups that you hit. So like it's not like that. It's you're not bricking things. You're like there's a lot of shots on this game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then the next one I want to talk about is this shot. And so in this shot, there are 3 inline drops. And what might be hard to see is after you hit the inline drops down, the ball goes in a horseshoe here, where another up post right there. I'll
Oh,
zoom in
that
so you
is
can see it.
so cool.
Do you see the up post
Yes.
right there?
Yes.
The up post stops the ball, and this is a physical ball lock, another physical ball lock. We mentioned the one over here. But there's another physical ball lock for your main multi-ball, and this we'll get into the rules of it. But that is your Emerald multi-ball, Chaos Emerald multi-ball. So you get the drops to get that multi-ball. You get all the drops down. You make that shot. I'm sure that's also very backhandable, like a lot of Steve Ritchie games, from the right flipper as well. Any questions on that inline drops? We love inline drops.
No questions.
Yeah,
Nothing but
it's awesome.
excitement from me.
Nothing but excitement. It's a good layout, to be
It
honest.
looks
I'm
really
excited.
it looks really cool.
This is a good layout.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready for the craziest shot, Kale?
Oh, please.
This might be the craziest shot, and it's a first. I said it earlier in the beginning of our show that Steve Ritchie is the king of flow, but he's also the master of innovation. And this is a new shot that I have not seen before. All right, so it's a ramp, and the ramp brings the ball back here through a loop-de-loop that goes directly to the right flipper. Notice there are not much habit trails that bring things to flippers. There's only this one
Hmm.
on the left that we haven't even talked about yet. On the lower playfield, there's nothing that brings the ball back to the flippers
Is,
except, air.
is that good or bad?
I think that's great. Harry Potter did something very similar
Hmm.
that way, where you get rid of habit rails and it makes the game play a lot faster and a lot more dangerous, that
Can
way.
you erase the yellow line and kind of zoom in so I
Oh
can
yeah.
kind
So
of
you're saying how does that happen, Cal?
yeah, yeah.
You're saying I didn't get to that yet. How does that happen? There's something that you're not seeing right here, which are
Uh-huh.
3 magnets that zoom the ball super fast along there. Let's see if I could possibly figure out a
L-
way to show
Like
this
no
to you.
fear. It,
I will try. I'm going to see if I could. I'm going to see desperately, Cal. Can I
but
find a
this
picture?
is something like no fear where these magnets are under the playfield.
Yeah, and
I mean under the ramp.
I am going to try, Cal. I feel like there was a video. I don't know if I may not have the video for you, Cal.
Hmm.
Sorry. Let me see. You know what? But you deserve it. I feel like, Cal. Don't you?
Oh, oh, yeah. I think
Although they have many
I
pictures,
always think so.
that are from the pre-production playfield. Let's find the picture here. I think it's worth it. Man, there's a lot of pictures here. No, come on. I think we can get it. I think we could find it, Kale. I think you. Like I said, I think you deserve it. Let's go to. Oh, there it is. Like, yeah. Come on. Is it this thing? No, I don't care about that. Don't tell me. They have the loop to loop. Do they not themselves point it out? How sad. Well, anyway, anyway, I can't get it there. I'm still gonna try, Kale. You deserve it.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
We're gonna go. We're gonna do view models, and then we'll go to explore, and then we're gonna go see if I could find some pictures here. I bet you. I feel like I can, Kale. Don't you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have faith in you.
Okay. Because why would they? How can they make a game and not show this? And it's so worth our time, Kale. Upper playfield, chaos gems. I didn't see it there. Did you see it there? No. Well,
Okay. So let's stop. Go back to the one where you can
This
see
one?
the look. No, the one with the where you can actually see that one.
yep.
Okay. So your entrance is where your cursor
I'm
is
saying
there.
there's 3 magnets that fire the ball rapidly fast along there.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're not going to be able to see it because they don't want to give you a picture of it.
Well, cool.
Okay. Well,
You know, they can't give you everything.
no, they can't. And I can't either, but I'll try. But Kale, it gets better. Kale, it gets even better. There are 2 ways this shot works. Way number 1, you hit it. The first time you hit it, it is extremely fast. 3 magnets, just like the magnets on Getaway. You
Yep.
know, shoot the ball through the loop really fast and it comes to your flipper. But as you hit more subsequent shots, the magnets can actually trap the ball. And then what happens
So
is
this is just like No Fear.
where the magnet traps the ball. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
But think about it also, then the mechanism or the rules are sort of like Corvette, where once you get the game in that engine, you have to, once the magnet traps the ball, this is called your spin dash. And so it's lit whenever you see this spin dash lit right there. And what happens is the ball will trap on the magnet, and then you have to hit the flippers as fast as you can, like in Corvette, if you've ever played it. And then that powers up your spin dash. And then you have to press the action button timed on the screen to where it's kind of moving, and you have to get it between this green, narrow green bar for the most points. And as soon as you press it, the ball just rocket fires into that loop shot. So one way of making that shot is you just make the shot and the magnet sends it off on its own the first time you're doing it. And then for more experienced players, you make the shot several times, and then you'll have this spin dash where you flip the flippers, magnet traps the ball while it powers up your spin dash. And I think that's a cool moment. I will pause there, Kale.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm blown
Cool.
away.
Yes. So that's that shot. Now the right orbit is your basic right orbit shot. It goes also fast. Right orbit this way, goes around, comes out the left. So you have 2 traditional orbits, in other words, very fast playing that way. That is the lower playfield. Kale, any questions before I jump to the upper playfield, which is a whole other game?
No, I'm just, this is the funniest thing because I really have not seen any of this stuff, and you're seeing it live. I am just trying
Kale's
to
reaction
take it
is live right now. He had a
like
busy
right
day.
now. I'm looking at it saying
Stand up
this.
here and stand up
This
here,
is
by the
the
way.
best Jersey Jack, like full stop.
It looks like it plays really well. Yep. Let's get into this upper playfield, which is its own fan layout. So I mentioned that the left ramp feeds there. There is a one-way gate here, so the ball cannot go back. I would be curious on like a competition setting or whatever, to change that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Like
But
remove it. Yeah.
remove the one-way gate. I don't know why they have the one-way gate there. I kind of want it removed. I'm just saying. Okay. Then, Kale, you have this guy, this bash toy, and this bash toy hides inside here in the lab. So if the game is off and you step up to the game, you will not see him. He's hiding in his lab. But when you boot up the game right away, he comes out like this. And he swings left and right and up and down.
Interesting.
And up and down, Kale. And when he's down, he becomes a bash toy. So you want to hit him with your sonic pinball directly into his face in his little egg creature thing. And he can dodge the ball, like he can go up. Later boss battles as you progress in the game are harder. He might stay up, he might move faster. It's really dynamic, actually. It made me
That
think
is wild.
of two
So this is a
comparisons.
cross between Slimer and Bond on a Wand.
Yeah, it made me think. Well, it made me think one of Heist in P3, which had a crane that moved up and down and left and
Hmm.
right, and it also, for a brief time, made me think of Pokemon again because Pokemon has this battle arena there, and it also had, as we recall, the Meowth balloon, right over there, right over here, that just went up and down only. But here you have, even on the 10K version, you have this thing going back and forth and up and down, and it's a physical bash toy on a separate upper playfield. I mean, pretty impressive. What do you say to that?
Mark me as impressed.
Yes. Now, I thought originally when they did the upper playfield, we had Travis in our chat was like, we're like, oh, I hope they use the Sonic Pinball version of an upper playfield because it's sort of for a hot minute looked like that way. But Steve Ritchie very specifically said he did not get inspired by Sonic Pinball that way, and I
Hmm.
believe him.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, Albert3, for the donation. That goes right to Kale as it should.
Thank you so much. We love
And
it.
maybe one day Kale will take me out for dinner, right, Kale?
That's the plan. Once I get enough money and I can get a payout from YouTube, we're going out to dinner. You and me.
All right, that'd be nice.
It's gonna be
Okay.
nice.
So yeah, shout out to Heist, which actually had an incredible mech. It was like the mech of the year when it came out for that year of P3. Okay, but we're not done talking about the upper playfield, Kel. There's more to say. So notice these flippers. It's a fan layout, but they're not positioned as a fan. They are
Hmm.
positioned offset. They're positioned to make the shots of this layout, which is awesome. I think I like that it's a little different like that. And so from here, you can make a repeatable loop shot. Maybe I'll go, well, it doesn't really go that far back. You can make a repeatable loop shot that goes around and around. We like our repeatable loop shots. So I thought this was a fan layout, but when you kind of look at it, maybe it's not. I don't know what you want to say about this layout. It's kind of special that way. So there is a repeatable loop shot from an upper playfield like that. Then, Kale, there is, I meant to draw it here. Sorry, I meant to draw it like that, going around. Kale, is that clear?
Yeah.
There's also an inner loop that you could shoot in either direction with a spinner right
Oh,
there.
hold it. So those are two different shots?
That's why I accidentally drew it incorrectly.
Oh, I
There's
got you.
this
I
shot,
didn't know if there was like a diverter. So it's two independent shots.
two independent shots.
Yeah.
I twitched
Hmm.
and my hand accidentally drew it incorrectly. This is the shot of the upper
Understood.
loop.
Yeah.
Separately, there is a shot here like that, and there is also a shot here like that goes
So
through
when
the spinner.
Dr. Robotnik is down in the bash position, you could hit
Dr.
it from
Eggman, sure.
behind.
By the way, look, see how they say Dr. Eggman?
I don't
Insulting us
care.
overweight Americans?
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay, fine, keep going.
So with that loop shot, you could nail it.
Pokemon.
You could nail it
Pokemon.
from. It's actually Pokemons.
Pokemons. Okay, got it.
Or is
Keep
it
going.
Pokemon?
WNBC.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
But with that loop shot, you could hit the bash toy from behind, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. It can go like that, hit him in the back.
Yeah.
And then I actually want to spend time on these targets. These are not, they're almost essentially no stand-up targets in the game. The only stand-ups they have are these two, and they're not stand-up targets. He redesigned a new type of target. As I said, not just the King of Flow, but the Master of Innovation. These
Mhm.
are not standard targets. They look like they are, but they have a spring behind them. They're kind of like a vary target in that they rebound. So they push back at you. You hit the ball, it spring bounces it and it comes back at you, Kel, in a different way than a typical stand-up, which I can't quite show on this. I think that's interesting. I care about that. Do you care about that, Kel?
So fitting for this theme.
Yes. Yes, it is, and it's so on point for the theme too. And I love little touches like that. So that's the kind of you could call them stand-ups, but they're not. They're a new thing.
Hmm.
The thing that doesn't exist. But we're still not done with the upper playfield, Kale. You have this shot, which goes to a vuck that then feeds the right upper flipper. So there's its own vuck
Wow.
shot on the upper playfield. And then you have this shot that's a 180 ramp that also feeds the right flipper. How do you like that?
Steve Ritchie literally designed two pinball machines.
He designed two pinball machines. Not just like an upper playfield that's cute. Like there's an entire playfield here. This is its own game.
Wouldn't it
And
be
that's why I
cool?
think it's cool.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was another shot and you hit it and then the ball ended up in your pocket?
Boy, you know what? Don't speak now, Kale. I'm designing that game.
Yeah, okay.
Don't tell everyone the secret. That's
So
gonna be
Dave,
my
that's
first design.
the David Blaine. Yeah.
That's the David Blaine game.
Yep.
But Kale, there's even one more shot. I didn't even see the shot when I first saw the game here, but there's
Serge,
another.
shut up.
No, I won't,
There's
Kale.
no, there's no room.
I know, and yet, it goes like that. There's
You,
another orbit shot. So there's a
can
repeatable
you
shot
can
this
you?
way,
So I was about to
or you
say,
can
so
go
you can
this
hit
way.
it either way.
You could hit it either way, but in this direction, when it goes in this direction, it goes to the upper right flipper.
Bananas,
Isn't that wild?
bananas! I tell you.
So this game might have like the most pure shots of any game. A lot of games have a lot of unique ball paths.
Hmm.
Godfather, for example, we'll talk about Winchester, have a lot of unique ball paths where the ball moves. But this actually physically has a whole lot of shots in it. And so I end up liking this upper playfield, even though, as you said, I think you're on this for a while. You might see a huge space there, and so you might say, "Oh, maybe you're not on there for a while." But
Hmm.
there is a post at the
Hmm.
top with
Yeah,
rubber on it, so you could
we'll
bounce it
remove
off there.
that.
We'll remove that, and a la Black Knight, of course. Black Knight being the first upper playfield game,
Hmm.
Flash Gordon the second, Black Knight 1980 Williams from Steve Ritchie. Also, kind of similar stuff that way with his Black Knight trilogy games in terms of these posts like that. If you drain out, it drains out along the only habit trail in the game, which goes down into your left flipper. So, Kale, that is the full layout of the game. Did I miss anything? Are you confused? What should we say?
I'm not confused. I am intrigued, and I really want to see how this thing plays. This looks like a hell of fun.
Yes, it does. But Kale, we're not done with the podcast as much as you think we might be. Kale, are you ready for what the last thing which we bring to this hobby, which is deep dives of code on day one? Are you ready for it?
Let's go.
All right. When we talk about code on Pin Pals here, we talk about the five M's of pinball. You have your modes, you have multi-balls, you have multipliers, you have missions, things you do
Hmm.
in the background of the game, kind of side quests, and you have miscellaneous, things like your mysteries and your hurry-ups and that sort of thing.
Right.
So
And
those
I
are,
like to add monetization.
monetization is a very important one. Kelly, you're absolutely right. The most important criteria of all code is monetization, right? And I think this one would do well on that. But so we're going to go through the five M's of pinball. We should first start with kind of maybe I'll start with the skill shot though. Skill shot is its own thing. Maybe I'll put that in miscellaneous. Kind of very similar skill shot to Elton John. If you remember in Elton John, or you may not, there were five inserts in the shooter lane for Elton John. And when you plunge the ball, that locks in. These are roving, and when you plunge the ball, that locks in, and it triggers that switch right here that locks in the award. So do you want to advance your chows, which we'll talk about, your bonus X,
Hmm.
your checkpoints, your award thing, rings or whatever, and this one's
Hmm.
rings. Um, and so you lock it in, and then you plunge. And there's a regular skill shot and a super skill shot. The game really wants you to go to the upper playfield, so the super skill shot is there. I think the regular skill shot is here. And if you do that, you get to the upper playfield. And right off the bat, this guy is out in the beginning because they want you to hit him. And if you hit him, so you make the skill shot and then you hit him, that will give you more value in your boss battles that we'll talk about to increase
Whoa.
boss battle scoring. So that's your skill shot. Kale, any questions on the skill shot?
No questions at all. I wanted to address a question from the chat.
Hmm.
Why was the quick response of "We'll remove that for the upper playfield post"? That was somewhat jovial because at the bat we like to make the games a little bit more difficult for tournament play, but there's a huge gap there, and I really don't think you'll have to take that post out.
Yeah, you're a jocular guy.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about modes. There are seven modes in the game. In pinball terms, calling them modes. I think they're calling them levels in JJP, and in the original video game, they called them acts. So your mileage may vary, but all these seven modes or levels or acts come from that Sonic Generations game, And what's interesting here is you can pick which level you want. The easier ones are at the beginning, the harder ones are at the end, and you could choose which one you want, and you actually choose with the ball in the shooter lane. So it's not like a scoop you get into that then chooses the mode or whatever. You could choose, with your at the shooter lane which mode you want to pick right off the rip. In other words, Kale.
Hmm.
And then
We have a
mhm,
really good question here.
bring it up.
Travis Yoder. Let me see if I the
Yes, I have a good question there. So, and I didn't mention it. He was at Travis, as you bring it up, was asking about like, hey, is this a game where you're always in the upper playfield? Am I going to always be up there, a la Scooby Doo? Let's be honest.
mhm.
So Scooby Doo also has a giant upper playfield. It's a wide body upper playfield and a standard body lower playfield. But in that game, number one, you can't see what's going on beneath it because it's not clear like this. But number two, it has a very wide central ramp to get up there. This is not that actually. I'll give you a few reasons why it's not as easy as Scooby Doo. I do not think you're going to necessarily be up there all day. Number one is it's blocked. There's a drop target there. So you have to earn the right to get up there. There's another way to get up there though from the left ramp, but that's not an easy shot like the gimme kind of center shot as much. The
Mhm.
center shot is narrower than the one in Scooby Doo, which was a wide ramp. So it's a bit more narrow even once you have the drop down. And then on top of which, the entrance to it is more narrow. So if you notice here, like this, here, not the entrance, but like, well, I guess you could say the entrance, but that area is a lot more narrow than and constricting than like Scooby Doo is, just to get in there. And then you also have magnets that deal with things. You have the slings that deal with things. So I don't think it's gonna be quite as easy as it was in Scooby Doo. I still think it's doable, but I just don't think it's quite as repeatable as it was in Scooby Doo. It was a concern of mine, though, I admit. I think the key is blocking this as much as possible, frankly.
Yeah. Did you touch on Zoid's question?
Can't the upper right flipper feed the lower playfield from the ramp entrance on the right? No. Well, I want to make sure I'm understanding the question. So, if in terms of this ramp from the on the lower playfield, that feeds here. In terms of I'm still trying to understand his question. Do you understand his question? He's saying from the upper
Mm-mm.
flipper. Oh,
Upper
can you go here? I think
right,
that's
and
what he's
you
saying.
you explained there was a gate there.
There's a gate that blocks it. It's actually
Yeah.
not here on interesting. It might be here. There, I don't know if you could quite see it, but there's a gate that blocks it. I welcome taking that gate off, though, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's the. Thank you for that explanation, Kale. Yes, there is a gate there. Okay, we're talking modes. Makes sense that Green Hill would be the first mode. That is like your level one in the original Sonic game. That way, it's like the canonical Sonic starting point, and that's the easy intro mode. And then Chemical Plant actually was, mode two is the logical one choice there, and so it gets harder but you could choose the harder one, as you wish. So you get through modes, and the modes, the way it works is you shoot blue shots to advance the mode, and you're going to see easy, medium, and hard shots. Let me see if I could get that on. Yeah, let's get here. This is the user interface on the screen here, so let's talk a little bit about that. So this is your mode progress on the bottom here, and you have three. Typically, you have three shots lit during your mode at any one time. One of them is the easy shot, one of them is the medium shot, one of them is the hard shot, and they're worth more points, and you could choose which one to go for. So you have a choice of three shots, harder shots being worth more. And then as you make shots, you go through these checkpoints right here. And here's what I think is really clever. Checkpoints save your progress on your level. So if you drain out, for example, on the mode, or you're like done on the mode, you time out, whatever it is, and you can actually play that mode again and during the game, and it saved your progress on that mode, depending on, if you made that checkpoint. I think that's clever. What do you say to that, Kale?
That's really cool. I don't even think I understand it that well, but it sounds cool to me.
Basically, what I'm saying is a lot of modes save your progress. If you play
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy and you time out of
Mm-hmm.
a mode and you start that mode again, it saves your progress exactly where you were at in that game. Here, it's not quite like that. You have multiple shots to reach a checkpoint. And if you make it to that checkpoint, the checkpoint saves your progress from that point. So if I made one or two shots after that, it would not save my progress. It would only save my progress if I made enough points to trigger a lit checkpoint.
Wow.
Your mileage may vary if you care about that level of detail, but I do. And
It
I think that's nice.
Any other games similar to that, rules wise?
Yes, actually, funny you should say that.
Uh-huh.
Star Wars: Fall of the Empire well, no, that's not quite right. No, it's not quite the same. I was just thinking that in that game, there's an Obi-Wan mode, mini mode, where it has like 28 shots, and every 7 shots it triggers a ball save, but it doesn't save your progress.
Hmm.
I can't think of another game that does it like this. That's sort of video game-ish in how it works with, lots of modes save progress as you play them again, like Guardians or Aerosmith or something. But this is the only one I can think of that has like checkpoints at different points along the mode that save your progress. Good question.
Yeah, dig it.
Okay. So you complete all these checkpoints here. So like let's say 7 checkpoints, and that gets you to your goal to light the goal ring on the playfield, which completes the level. There's also a timer on that, so you can actually save your, there's going to be a high score like all pinball games have, but it could also have like your time to beat a level just for speedrunners.
Interesting. We saw that in something like that in D&D in the
That's right.
final code. Yeah.
It's a cool thing to have, especially for a video game tie-in like this.
Hmm.
So these are the levels and the modes, if you will. After you beat a mode, Kale, just like you have from the lore of Sonic, you get to face a boss battle. So that's when this guy will come out in a boss battle. Think about it like the future in Uncanny X-Men. After you beat a mode, here you have to face down a boss battle, and that's what this. I'm going to highlight. We're going to highlight all of these inserts. So, no, ignore boss rush. Sorry, not we'll talk about that. But you're in a boss battle. I'll get to boss rush later. But you're in a boss battle. You face this guy. You have to hit him in the face. He moves. He goes left and right. He goes up and down. Other shots light up on the playfield that are red. I think I have a picture I could show you. So it looks like this on the screen, where you have his health meter on the right, and lab shots to Eggmobile decrease boss health. You could also bash him in the face. It tells you what level you're at, boss level 1, that sort of thing. Kale, any questions about that?
No, this is theme integration. This feels like the video game. And I haven't seen any video, but I'm sure the programmers have Eggman just hovering right where you can't reach it, right above the ball, taunting you.
That's
Th-
right.
This is cool.
Especially in progressively harder bosses, they do more
Mhm.
taunting like that. And then as we get back to here, after you beat one boss, you get an award. After you beat 2 bosses, you get a different award. 3 bosses, a different award. And that explains some of the mini wizard modes here. So as we look down in this area here, once you defeat, I believe it's 2 bosses, you get to Casino Night.
Now we're looking at a production playfield, right?
This is the production playfield,
Okay.
Cal. These are the names. You could rely on these names. You could take them to the bank, Cal.
Yeah.
Even the casino. So after 2 bosses, you get to Casino Night. After, I think it's 3 bosses, you get to Boss Rush. And if you defeat all the bosses, then you get to Master Emerald Mission, where you could obtain, Cal, the very important green emerald. So the goal of the game is to collect all these emeralds. We also saw it on the topper, that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the green emerald is from defeating all the bosses. The blue emerald is from getting through all the modes here, like that. And so that's modes and bosses. I will pause there, Kale. Any questions on that stuff?
No question at all.
All right, we're on to the second M of our 5 M's of multi-ball, and that is of pinball rules. We did
Mhm.
modes. The second M is multi-balls. There are 2 main multi-balls in this game. They're not like 7 multi-balls, like sometimes happens in other prior games I won't name now, but there are 2 main multi-balls. The easiest one to describe is the Chaos Emerald one, Chaos Emerald multi-ball, and that is hit a bunch of shots through here. Get the
Mhm.
drops down, inline drops, lock a ball behind an up post, do that enough, and that's your multi-ball there. Lower playfield,
Three ball, multi
it is
ball.
a 3-ball multi-ball.
Okay.
Lower playfield has jackpots and super jackpot, but there's also separate jackpots and super jackpots on the upper playfield that are worth twice as much. So if you can get up to the upper playfield, it's even worth more up there,
So cool.
which I like.
Yeah.
So that's Chaos Emerald multi-ball. The second multi-ball of the game is called Heroes multi-ball, and that has to do with the inlanes. So you go through the inlanes, which you can move, to spell hero, and
Mhm.
as you do so, it collects a hero, which I will show you here on the user interface. See that user interface right there?
Hmm.
Complete hero lanes to collect hero. So if you go through the in lanes 3 times, it'll collect 3 heroes, and you need 3 heroes to get a team together. And once you have a team together, so you've gone through 3 sets of in lanes, in other words, then you are lit right here for your heroes multi-ball. But there's a press your luck kind of situation here, a risk reward. There is actually, if you notice on the playfield, there's 4 team inserts. There's Team Chaotix, there's Team Dark, there is Team Sonic, and there's Team Rose. And so you can actually push your luck and try to bring in more teams. And if you, meaning get more in lanes and build that up. If you collect more teams and then start the multi-ball, then you will get, more multiplied super jackpots, that sort of thing, once you start the multi-ball in there. Kale, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You could even, once you're at one ball, let's say you light one team and then you get in there, you could hold down the action button a la Venom to cancel out your multi-ball. So you could press your luck and try to collect more teams before you go in there. So a traditional risk reward a la Venom kind of thing. I was thinking, to be honest with you, Oreo, I was thinking the same thing. It's kind of one thing about the layout I wish was different, and I'm willing to say it, is why isn't there a spinner on the orbit, especially the left one?
Where are the spinners?
There is a spinner. To my knowledge, there is a spinner, and that spinner is up here.
Hmm.
I was a little surprised by that too. Aren't you surprised by that?
Yeah, missed opportunity to get some sounds going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless I'm like missing something. I didn't see it. I hate if I'm wrong on this, but I didn't see another spinner on this game. I saw one spinner. Sad.
Hmm.
That way. Great. I mean, great layout.
Hmm.
Put a spinner.
More spinners.
Maybe we'll have local Matt put in a spinner for us.
Absolutely.
He can do it. Okay. So we're talking about multi-balls. We're talking about hero multi-ball. As I said, you could cancel it out. You could press your luck. 2 multi-balls. There's the heroes. There's the emerald multi-ball, and they both have some other things you can say about them. When you're in either multi-ball kill, either one, let's say you have 3 balls going around. If you hit this stand-up and bash dash is lit, and I could explain how you light that, but if you hit that stand-up, that target, it will trap the ball with an up post there, and then you could bash that to increase your jackpot multiplier. So when you lock a ball, you have 15 seconds to try to hit that and increase your jackpot multiplier. You could do it repeatedly within that 15 seconds
Hmm.
to get even more value on that jackpot. So it's a way to kind of, for high level players, to boost the scoring is hit that shot repeatedly. The way you light that ability is you have to collect rings in multi-ball to qualify that. So if you want to, we're going to move on to multipliers in a little bit. We talked about multi-balls, now we're sort of talking about multipliers. Multipliers, one of the main multipliers in the game is this mechanism. It's hitting trapping a captive ball, hitting it against the up post, which hits that target behind it, and then that activates your jackpot multiplier in the game. That's the main multiplier. It's not a huge, playfield multiplier type of
Hmm.
game that way. It's mainly focused on these jackpot multipliers. Kale, any question on that?
No, but just one comment. I love it when that happens, where the ball you're playing with, becomes the mech.
Yep.
Like with like the Rush Premium.
Rush
Uh,
Premium, where it traps it. Let's name other games that are like that.
yeah.
Labyrinth.
The
What do you say,
barbecue
John?
game.
Oh, Barrio's Barbecue, where you trap it in the
Hmm.
captive,
The
sockets
lock
or whatever.
saucers or
Lock
whatever.
saucers, yeah.
Yeah. Bash
Shout out to
locks.
Barrio. Shout out to Barrios, Kel. Good for you.
Heck yeah.
You bought that for the bat, right, Kel?
Unfortunately, I did not, and that's gone. That whole opportunity.
Okay, fine. The whole opportunity, all of it, all of it. And then 5 out of the 7 multi-balls, gems rather, or emeralds, I should say, are
Oh,
collected
Foo
in those
Fighters. Good call,
multi-balls.
Travis.
Yeah, Foo Fighters, another one. That's true.
Hmm.
So, all right, that is it for multi-balls, and that's also it for multipliers, Kale, because we talked about how you do that. You bash this basically to get your jackpot multipliers while in multi-ball. You qualify that through rings that you collect, and also you can actually increase the time. Default is 15 seconds of how long it traps the ball, but you can actually, before the multi-ball starts, you could keep on hitting that to boost that 15 seconds higher if you want to keep on hitting that. So that's some real in-depth for tournament players on Sonic and multipliers.
So cool. I
I'm
love
done
that.
with multipliers. We're going to go on to our fourth M, which is missions of the game. What are you doing in the background of the game? Multiple things. One is emeralds. I mentioned these emeralds here. You have to collect all 7 emeralds to get to the main wizard mode of the game, which is Supersonic, where he goes like Super Saiyan, if you will. And as I said, you get 1 from the modes, you get 1 from defeating all the bosses, and you get 5 from the multi-ball super jackpots. And also, once you get the super jackpot, like lights will light up on the playfield to show you where you have to hit for the next emerald. There's a bit more complexity to the 5 emeralds in those multi-balls. It's not just get a super jackpot, in other words. Okay, on to, that was emeralds. The other thing that emeralds do, Kale, so emeralds give you, all 7 will give you the final wizard mode, as I said. But as you collect emeralds in the game, they also give you something else called chaos control time. Are you ready for chaos control time, Kale?
You know I'm ready, Serge.
All right, so a lot of these things have timers in them. There's a timer right there, and we talked about and showed earlier that even those little rings will show you what time is left on the modes, and I love that. If you have gems or emeralds, I keep on calling them gems, but they're chaos emeralds, that increases the amount of time you could hold the action, you could press the action button, and that freezes timers. How long timers freeze for is how many chaos, kind of emeralds that you have. But for kind of tournament players that want to stay in a timed mode, let's say that bash dash I mentioned, or whatever it is, there are all these time features of the game. You could freeze the timers a la Mr. Freeze in Batman 66.
Can shots have different times or
What do you mean by
time
that?
limits? Well, no, so the shot we're looking at right now, you have 20 on that display, 20 on the other display, and
Oh no, they should have the same time.
oh, okay, okay.
Right, it's not like that would be too confusing, I think, but it's just one global timer that's telling you the
You
time
you
of
would
your
you
main
would love
feature.
it,
And I'm the type of guy who would love that, but I would also say I know others wouldn't love it, so I would tell people not to do it.
right?
So I'm not crazy. All right, so I'm talking about missions, and I'm saying one thing you do with missions is emeralds because it helps you with your chaos control time, and it also gets you this supersonic wizard mode. Another mission you could say are rings. So rings in the game, you collect rings via combos. So if I was looking here, just like on high speed, when you go through an in
Hmm.
lane, it lights the opposite orbit to set up your combos, and that lights these ring shots, and then you could collect rings around the playfield. It's essentially, if you didn't understand what I just said, it's essentially combos.
Hmm.
So you're just collecting combos in the game, and that gets you your rings. I kind of would have thought they would have done a spinner to collect your rings, but I get it. Combos are fine. So you
Hmm.
collect rings via combos. The rings do multiple things for you along the game. If you get 100 rings, it gets you an extra ball. If you get enough rings, that relights your kickback over here. It also increases your bash dash that I talked about earlier to increase your jackpot multiplier. It also it activates your spin dash over here that we talked about, where you press the flippers and then press the action button to shoot the ball through the loop-to-loop, so it can make that more valuable, in other words. And another thing that I bet would be controversial, but I'd like, because it's great theme integration, is that if you danger the game, if you nudge the game and you get a danger, you lose rings, Kel.
Oh, that is amazing!
I thought you'd like that.
Bravo!
Keep that in. Right.
They get one air horn for that.
They get one air horn. I think that's a great theme integration, and I think they were talking about, like Steve Ritchie was saying, it's like a bit argument because should you lose things when you get a nudge and you save the ball? But I think you should. I love
Yeah,
the risk reward of losing rings like that.
absolutely.
I think that's great.
Did did you get
Yep.
into a skill shot, or am I getting ahead of
I did.
myself?
In fact, I started with a Kel. We talked about
Oh,
how you
okay.
plunged,
Man,
and
I forgot. I was so excited.
you were.
I
I know
was
you got excited,
because
but we did.
this
I
is
promise.
like a la Elton John, I guess.
Yes, it's exactly what I said too.
Mhm.
I said
Okay,
that
good,
like
good,
you
good.
lock in the award here. These are the 5 awards. You can progress things like I haven't even talked about these chows. Maybe let's talk about the chows now.
Yeah, what's the
So
chow?
these are these chows, and the chows they're somewhere on the play. Let me show them on the playfield. Chows look like this.
Oh yes, they're
They're,
little onion heads.
they're these little onion head type creatures
Hmm.
here, and so the way the chows work is if you shoot this chow target right there,
Hmm.
That lights your orbits. And so here, notice where it says advanced chow right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll
Hmm.
show the other orbit,
Yeah.
advanced chow. So you hit that stand up, which lights your advanced chow, and then you shoot that lit orbit. And you can do it repeatedly, like on high speed, where you kept on shooting, you could keep on shooting the orbits over and over again sometimes. And so you could repeat those orbits before time expires. And then that helps out with this thing that is like not, I don't know if it's in the game yet, but it's the light dark chaos in the game.
Oh.
And I don't quite know what that's going to be about. But chows, Kale.
Where do you see the light dark chaos?
I don't.
Oh,
That's why I'm not sure if how much of that is in the game yet.
okay, I got you.
But there is this. But that's how you get chows, and chows help you through this thing called light dark chaos, which I don't quite know what it is yet, Kale. Deal with it.
Very cool. I was
Maybe a
just
light.
looking up Bill Grupp.
Maybe that's all it is. No, you know what? I think
Uh-huh.
I'm wrong. You know what I just realized, Kale?
What's
I
that?
read the word chaos, and I think it's just chows plural.
Oh,
Or
that's right. And I think somebody in the chat was even saying that.
oh, I
It's
think I blew it.
chows.
I think
It's
it's just
chows.
chows.
Oh, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah. We'll fix it in post. This is not live, right?
Yeah.
And we edit all the time, right, Kale?
But like, how are you supposed to know? It's the chows, man.
It's chows. It's just chows. All it is, I think it's just a super feature of the game. Like they call it. Now I remember. Now I understand. They called it super victory laps.
Hmm.
So it's like you just kind of repeat this and get some chows and get yourself some points, super orbits, and a small like mini game feature. I don't think it's like more than that. There's also a tails hurry up. So if you shoot that spinner right here, then it lights your left in lane right there, and it even says here, start tails hurry up right there. So you shoot the spinner,
Hmm.
which lights the left in lane for a tails hurry up, and that's going to light a white shot that you have to collect on the playfield to collect your hurry up value. And if you collect that shot, let's say it's like here, you collect that shot, and then the next time, whatever value it's at, the next time you do your tails hurry up, it adds to the value of your next tails hurry up. So they kind of get additive along the way, and that could be big points. These are all miscellaneous things. Your as we go through this, like my final fifth M, your chows, your tail hurry
Mm-hmm.
ups, for example. I didn't even mention like badnik attack. Badnik attack is this area, your arena in the lower playfield. So where you battle, they're like Dr. Robotnik's kind of henchmen, robots, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's, I believe, on the playfield on the, let me go to the, yeah, let's go to more things here. I feel like there's Badnik Attack and Master Emerald, Tails Hurry Up, and then there's like this thing, which are kind of like a background feature of the game a la Cyborg, a multi-ball in Iron Maiden, where you're kind of getting background
Oh,
stuff.
this is your favorite part.
I like those
You
things
love
too.
those,
I haven't
man.
quite figured out how to, what that's integrated into, but I suppose that's what's going on in this Master Emerald right now, like
Hmm.
what you have to do in it to achieve that. And then Froggy is your mystery award. Shoot the Froggy target. They call it Froggy target because originally, Kale, as I'll point to here, and I love doing this.
Hmm.
The type of thing that I get obsessed with. 1 second. So if you notice here, let me see if I could show it better. Yeah, see right there, Kale, where it says Find Froggy.
Yes.
This is the pre-production version of the game, Kale. And the
Oh,
post-production, it's not Find Froggy. It is qualified checkpoints, but there's still a frog there, and so that's your Froggy stand-up target.
interesting.
So when we go back to this screen, yeah, find Froggy. Froggy is lit. Shoot the Froggy target. That's your mystery award essentially on that target there. You qualify it by getting checkpoints in modes. Yeah, did I say everything? I feel like I did, Kale. Yeah, I said there's basically four mini wizard modes three mini wizard modes
Um,
and one wizard mode of the game. Ah,
did you go over all of the multi balls, or at least all that you can
no, I
figure
did.
out?
I
Yeah.
tell
Okay.
you.
So we're good with that.
There are two main ones, actually similar. Well, not I won't say similar. Not many games have just two multi balls. A lot of them have like three or maybe more,
Mhm.
but My gosh, Fog is and games contributing money directly to Kale. That makes me happy, Kale.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's great. Because, as soon as we get a payout, I'm taking you out to dinner.
I'm going
So
to eat that dinner.
you guys are doing us a huge favor. Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So I think we said, here's your Chaos Emerald multi-ball, what that starts at. We explained that. A little bit of here, we could say some other screens that are saved. So when you're playing through a level, it shows you a few things. It shows you how long it took you to beat the level. I mentioned that earlier for the
Mhm.
speedrunners versus what did you do in the level? How many rings did you collect? How many expert shots did you make? I said in every level, there's easy, medium, and hard shots. That's what's lit right here, and they're worth respectively the points that you see right here on the bottom right. So if you're doing the mode better, if you're making harder shots, if you're getting through all the checkpoints, then you could get the A instead of the D, and it gives you a rank at the end, just like the video game did, Kill. So if you beat the mode better, you can get a higher rank.
One thing I'm noticing, and tell me if I'm wrong, the information on the screen, it does not look like too much.
Let's talk about that. This is
Okay.
JP to win, right? I'm pretty sure this is JP to win.
Yeah.
Who's really great. It's great at putting a lot of information, but you can argue sometimes Jersey Jacks have too much information. I don't blame JP to win. The game itself has a lot of information, so
Mhm.
and so from his perspective, he has to find a way to show it. But this game is not overwhelming. So typical screen here shows you your score at the top, shows you your time for that mode, shows you how many rings you've collected so far, what player is up, how many balls you have left, aka lives.
Yeah, I was about to say your lives. Yep.
Over here is your heroes. You collect your in lanes to light that at the left dead end shot. Over here is your mode progress with your checkpoints. This is your Chaos Emerald multi-ball. So there are two multi-balls in the game. They're Chaos Emerald multi-ball, which is the inline drops. Multi-ball ready, shoot, lock up. That's the shot behind the inline drops. And then this is the other multi-ball, which is complete hero lanes to get your hero multi-ball going. So those are the two main ones. This is your mystery right there. And this is like kind of miscellaneous, shorter things in the game. Bad Nick attacks up the middle. There's the Tails Hurry Up we talked about if you hit the spinner and then go through the left in lane. So these are sort of mini modes running along the way. Master Emerald, there's another one.
Yeah. So
We have to do all this.
this is refreshing, surprisingly easy to understand
Digestible.
for JJP. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you could see and then you'll have screens like this at the end of a mode that tell you how you did, which I think is a great video game tie-in
Hmm.
thematically. And then here, when you're facing a boss, notice all that other stuff is taken away. When you're facing a boss, you don't have like on the bottom left this and on the bottom right that. And really, what that screams to me is that they've stopped the crazy amount of stacking in the game.
Hmm.
I think that, or in a lot of prior JGP games, you can do everything in any order. You could get
Right. You're
multi-balls, then you can get
progressing a
modes and modes and
multi-ball.
multi-balls. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all happening in Godfather
Hmm.
at the same time. I don't like that. That's my opinion. You could disagree or agree with it, but
Hmm.
I'll be blunt. I don't like that. I think it's the wrong way for code to go in most games. I mean, there's exceptions, but it's really hard to pull off and make it pleasant to the player to know what's going on. But here, when I see the screen and I see so little on it, number one, that's digestible for like you're saying, Kale, as the player, but it also screams to me that they're blocking off other things, that you can't bring a multi-ball into this at the same
Hmm.
time. And I don't see, your progress towards your heroes over here or your Chaos Emerald progress over there. I think you're just facing a boss, and I like that. I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
So,
and at the
credit there.
bottom, it looks like it's even telling you what you need to hit for a free game.
Oh, that's a nice point too. What you need for a free game. I didn't notice that actually. That's a good
Hmm.
good addition. I like that too. Clear health bar over there. I like it. So Kale, I think that summarizes all of the code, if you could believe it, as well. Bonus is big in this game, I should say. That's how you collect. Your rings influence your bonus. Pretty easy to describe that. If you have too many dangers, you lose your rings, which is also interesting. And of course, like JJP games will tell you how much bonus you lost, you lose. I believe that the bonus will be substantive in this particular game, depending if you collect enough rings. Mini wizard modes, I mentioned them earlier. There are a few. There's Casino Night from defeating a few bosses, Boss Rush from defeating a few more, this Master Emerald mission from defeating that many more, and then there is Supersonic for getting all the emeralds in the game, and you start all of those mini wizard and wizard modes on this shot, and that's what the question mark is. You know, I like to explain all the inserts, Cale.
Yep.
So you start your mini wizard or wizard modes by getting through that shot. Also notice that's your add-a-ball shot, so you have to hit down a few drops to get in there for that. This is also once you light emeralds from, for example, beating bosses or what have you, or getting through a super jackpot on the multi-ball. You light the emerald, you collect it here, like you might in the gems of Avengers Infinity Quest. You kind of have to collect it. I think that's every insert, right, Cale?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. Well, I think we did it, right, Cale?
I think we crushed it. Now, Dustin brings up an important point. According to lore, the plural of chow is chow.
It's like fish and fishes.
We have a problem.
We might have. You know what? I know they have a pre-production. Look, we talked about the pre-production game, Cale, and here we had the pre-production with all the hero inserts right there, and then the post-production. I think we need a third run, Cale.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need a third run. Maybe it is. Yeah. Maybe you collect your chow, singular, but that's tricky, Cale. I don't know. Originally, it actually said chow garden over here, but now it says orbits advance. And there's your chow. That's how you spawn your chows right there. I don't know, Cale. What do we have next for our?
007 Bonson 1 brings up a question. Can you guys do a code update episode where you cover recent updates / changes? Winchester, Beetlejuice, Transformers, etc. Interesting you brought that up. We're going to do... Did we tell them what we're doing a little bit later this week?
This is your segue. Don't step on the segue. Go for it.
We're doing a deep dive into Winchester. We had a lot of fun with the game while it's at the bat, and we're gonna do a little deep dive into it, talk about the code, and we might even have a special guest drop in.
Very exciting. You can guess who that is, maybe. But we're looking forward to that, and that will be, when is that, Cale?
I think Thursday, Friday.
This Friday. At noon Pacific time.
I got so many. I'm recording like 5 podcasts this week.
I know you do a lot of podcasts, Cale. You're very popular. But I appreciate that you take the time to hang out with me on our podcast, Cale. I don't get jealous.
Nobody enjoys it like I do.
Yeah. I'm happy for your happiness.
Yeah.
I'm like polyamorous when it comes to podcasting. I feel like you should be able to podcast anywhere you want, Cale.
100%. And I'm sure there 007, I'm sure there is at least a Transformers podcast coming up after we play it some more and have more time with the code and have some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But the next one will be Winchester this Friday. And I think we covered it, Cale.
We covered it. Am I going to see you tonight, or are you busy?
You're going to see me tonight.
Let's do it. League night.
So everyone in chat, come to Electric Bat. Doesn't matter where you live in the world. Come to Electric Bat.
Go to the airport now.
Yeah, you better go now because it's at 6:30.
6:30 every Tuesday.
Local Arizona time, every single Tuesday, rain or shine. And Cale, you and Rachel, am I right? I think I'm right here. That you and Cale and you and Rachel run the world's largest single venue pinball league. Isn't that correct?
I think we do, and we don't like it. It just happened. That isn't some point that we just wanted to brag about. We want to see somebody else do something even bigger and better, and have 200 people or more in their league night.
I love that about you guys because you guys cheer on other operators.
Oh,
very
absolutely.
Regularly.
We want to lift up
in Arizona and others.
We want to lift up everybody. Abe Flips in the chat right now. Oh, dang. Should I take this call? I don't know. Can you even see that?
Who is that? Is that George Gomez?
It's Canada.
That's Canada. Get him on. Put him on speaker.
You want me to put him on right now?
Unless chat hates it, but let's find out.
Let's chat. What do you say, chat?
Hey, you could add him live if you want.
Wouldn't that be great? Some people don't like him, though.
That's your call, Cale. You run the show.
All right, man. Well, so we're going to hang out tonight.
Yes.
Um, and we're gonna play some pinball. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight under one roof. We're gonna have Transformers. We're gonna have Winchester, Mystery House, and we have Beetlejuice. And then we have like 64 other great pinball machines everybody can enjoy. This is going to be fun. I
look forward to it.
I like Tim Murrin in there. We got a that was for Canada.
Cale Chat wants to know, so who is the Midnight Plunger that's feeding you all this amazing knowledge of the future that you get?
The Midnight Plunger, you know what? He's still around. People are suspecting he may have gotten fired from Stern, but he's keeping in touch. He's reached back out to me. And he's got some important information. We might hear some of it on the JBS round table, the pinball round table with Cale Hernandez, Retro Ralph, and Jamie Burchell. So stay tuned. You're going to see that later this week.
Right. And we didn't say anything today that would make us have to take down this podcast, right, Cale?
No, I don't think so. But who knows? We've only had to take down 2 podcasts, I think.
Cale, shout out to another contributor here at the tail end, which is Mythos Pinball here. Thank you so much, Mythos Pinball. We appreciate you.
We really, really appreciate the support. And like I said, when we get enough money for a payout, we're going. I think it's like $100, and then they'll actually like let you have some money at YouTube. I'm taking you out to eat.
I love food. Cale.
We're gonna have a great time. We'll post some photos of us enjoying some fantastic food.
I'm down.
Good deal. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We love you guys. We appreciate the support. Make sure you subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe. Let's get this thing going. These deep dives are great. I get off on them. I know the chat loves them. And what you're doing is very important for the pinball industry, Serge. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy person.
I appreciate that, Cale. I enjoy it very much. I'm always surprised that there is a percentage of our small, very passionate hobby that wants this level of detail on games. But I guess I want this level of detail, so I shouldn't be that surprised.
I think a lot of people are enjoying it. Everybody have a absolutely amazing week, and stay in touch. Keep in touch with us on our socials, and so you know when we'll be back soon.
Go team.
Have a good night.